Nothing ever happens. You find yourself in an unchanging environment. Time seems to be at its standstill, with no way for you to tell how long you've been trapped in this place. You are moving, looking for an exit, but the setting remains unchanged. The true horror of the backrooms and liminal spaces in general is the fear of nothing ever happening. This might be a controversial take, but hear me out. I have seen many depictions of the backrooms where there are entities, monsters, or some form of external threat that is dangerous and must be avoided at all costs. Some people consider the setting by itself boring, and so these entities have been added as another layer of danger, of excitement. But that makes me think. In adding an external threat that is physical, you, as the viewer, are actually comforted. And what do I mean by that? Fear and adrenaline are emotions that you are familiar with. You felt them before. In a way, it's a relief that you can feel them. This means that your brain and instincts are working as they should. So, you find comfort in the chase, even if you don't realize it at first. You find comfort in being haunted. The entity is, in itself, another presence, a harbinger of change in the bleak, static nothingness of the setting. It's comforting, even if it means you harm, even if its ultimate goal is to eradicate you. Its existence means that you are not alone. Something is out there, hunting you. You have to focus, keep yourself alert. It gives you something to do, it keeps you distracted. As living organic beings, our brains are wired to detect threats in order to ensure our survival. Trust your gut, because it will keep you alive. Your instincts are there for a reason. You must survive, after all. Nobody knows what happens if you die. Your brain rejects the very possibility of death because it does not know what waits for you at the other side. And there is nothing more terrifying than the unknown. In the popularization of liminal spaces and the backrooms as a nexus of unimaginable horrors, we have turned a place of true nothingness into a breeding room for monsters of instinct. These are familiar forms and shapes that define our fears. Some are more familiar than others, but all of them are familiar nonetheless. All of them represent the promise of physical or psychological harm, an external factor that will change you, one way or another. And that is what you crave as a living being: change, even if it's negative. Life wouldn't be life unless it changed, after all. I mean, at least change is happening, right? Even if it hurts, at least something is happening. You can't stand the silence. You hate the silence. You hate when it's quiet. You hate the white noise. But I wonder, isn't true nothingness the most fearsome aspect of the liminal? To be trapped in an endless labyrinth with no company, no other sign of life. You as the sole living being, the sole metric of existence. Think about it. Would this place exist if you could not perceive it? A terrifying prospect to be the sole purveyor of everything that is within this space. Quite the immense responsibility for a simple human being. We are social creatures, after all. We are not meant to be alone. So imagine this: you are lost, and there is no one else to validate what you see, feel, or think. Only you and the thoughts, memories, and feelings that have haunted you since the beginning of consciousness. The same intrusive thoughts playing on loop as your brain struggles to function in the complete absence of external stimuli. Who are you if there is no one to perceive you? Who are you when you are completely and irrevocably alone? To me, that's a far more terrifying concept than a billion entities and other things chasing me in the dark. The idea of having to relive every painful memory, every mistake, every awful social interaction endlessly because there is nothing else to focus on. Our brain is unable to conceive entirely new concepts. To create something, it needs to pull from what it already knows. Everything that is created is derivative in some way or another, whether it's a result from observing the world around us or learning from other human beings. So I cannot think of a greater hell than forcing my brain, an organ wired to experience and process the changes in our perception of reality, to experience true, unchanging nothingness. The most likely scenario is that, in its desperation to find external stimuli, the brain will start to conjure manifestations of the worst thoughts and fears lurking in our subconscious, effectively creating the monsters that we see often in various depictions of these liminal spaces. A self fulfilling prophecy, if you will. But the backrooms, they will remain physically unchanged, even as you lose your mind, uncaring, unresponsive to the plight of the poor, pitiful creature that is now trapped in them. That is the true horror of the backrooms. To be lost in them means you have to face existence itself all on your own. No guidance, no validation, no distractions. Nothing. Nothing at all. There is no escape. There is no monster. There is only you.